welcome to the Spirit versus Science podcast, episode 7. This time we'll talk about karma. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll start off with a brief introduction of karma. Karma is, I would say, a law that is accepted and acknowledged in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. And we'll talk about what it is, what it isn't later. But just a brief, how do you say, expansion of the concept is that I think in those sacred texts, karma is just one of 5 natural laws, of which there are 4 others. One is called seasonal law, biological law, natural law, psychological law, and karmic law. I can use Sanskrit terms, but I can't pronounce it either, and people won't understand, so I just skip that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then in terms of karma per se, it is said that there is actually 3 types of karma, 3 categories, and the first one is called Sanchita karma. Sanchita karma is stock karma or accumulated karma from multiple lifetimes, and then it cannot be spent or processed within one lifetime. And the one that the seed from this stock karma that gets planted in this current lifetime to be processed and dealt with is called prarabdha karma, and that is something from the stock karma, and you have no, how do you say, no control over that. But the one that you have control over, that the one that you actively create in your current lifetime, is called kriyamana karma. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's a brief introduction. Yeah.
Very cool. It's it's funny because you can actually also see karma within the Western religions as well. You said they're primarily in like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, but you also see it in stories within the Bible as well. One example is the story of Job. Have you heard of the story of Job? Is where he worked hard to build everything he had, beautiful family, beautiful kids. He had like the perfect life, and he all of his actions were for God, right? For God. And then tragic accident happens, and he loses his house, he loses his family, everything is destroyed, and he's wondering like, God, like, why? Why I work so hard for you, I toil every day for you. Why did all of this tragic things happen? And where karma shows up in the story is that a group of his friends or wise men, I don't quite remember the gritty details. But a group of his friends were talking about it. They were just like, "Why Job? Like, what could Job have possibly done to receive this this judgment or receive this karma?" They were looking at his past actions. They were like, "Oh, maybe he did this, maybe he did that." But that's an example of how karma is present with even within the Western cultures because it's still incorporated within their stories as they discuss, like, you know, in the story of Job, why did that happen? What did he previously do to have this misfortune happen upon him? And so
Mm.
karma is still prevalent, although maybe not perhaps named within the Bible.
Mm.
Religions, yeah.
Yep, yep,
So,
yep. Sounds
yeah.
sounds like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I generally categorize for myself. Before
Mhm.
I like went in and understood this. Like 10 years ago, my concept is like, past life karma and present
Mhm.
life karma. And then the present life karma is the one that I want to actively create, and then where good begets good and bad begets bad. Like
Mhm.
is the one that I want to, how to say, be aware of, and then
Mhm. Yeah.
like a few adages come to mind. So people in glass houses don't throw stones. Do unto
Mhm.
others what you want for yourselves, and or do not do unto others what you don't want for yourselves. So these
Mhm.
are my guiding principles for daily living. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I just had like I had like 3 or 4 different thoughts as you were saying that.
Yeah.
um, one that just the latest thought rather was that even in the first civilization, you know, how they the first right of cuneiform, Mesopotamia,
Mm.
they had the eye for an eye law, so where they enforced the karma, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh, karma, all right, and we're gonna actually enforce it physically. So just another appearance of
Yep.
karma.
Yep.
But I definitely want to talk about actively changing your karma within the present life.
Mm.
Because interestingly, one, I've seen karma act itself out within my own personal life. One quick example uh, is that uh, there was this one time where I was just irrationally angry. I was a kid. I was like an angsty teenager or whatever. And I'm screaming at my mom, da 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 da. And I was just, it was just an irrational scream, right? Just like, it's just like, okay, you know what I mean? It's just very little control of my emotions back then. Fast forward maybe 4 or 5 years later, I'm working my job and an irrational customer came in and she just started screaming at the top of her lungs. She didn't care who she was screaming at. She was just angry, screaming at me. And it just reminded me like, oh, this is what I've also done before. So I did something to affect this person and therefore it's going to happen to me by some happenstance, some circumstance in the future, by random. So karma has been very real to me. There were multiple examples of that within my life. That was just one of them. Um, and so I was actually like looking through YouTube, and there was this man, a Buddhist monk. His name was Michael Geshe, or Geshe Michael Roach, right? And he was like this weird looking white guy, and and he was teaching about how to like utilize karma. I feel like most of the time when people think of karma or the common knowledge of karma, they always think of bad things happening to you, right? Oh, that person just got what they deserve because they were acting up, and karma, played its cards, right? But what this Buddhist monk was saying was like, hey, there are positive ways that you can use karma. So he actually listed off 4 rules. All right, 4 rules to actually how to utilize karma to get anything you want, right? Right. First is to decide what you want, whether it's money, whether it's a relationship, whether it's happiness. You have to decide exactly what you want, right? So, in this story, in this example, let's say money, because I know a lot of people desire money, right? So we use money as an example, and that's number one. We decided what we want. Let's just say money, right? Step number 2 is to help someone get what you want, and this can get a little confusing. So it's okay. I want money. I want to make money, right? So I have to find another person who wants to make money, right? So it's like, okay, I want to make money. Find another person that wants what you want. Find another person that wants to make money, right? Then there's step 3. You spend 1 hour, and this is just a vague time frame, right? You spend 1 hour per week helping this person make money. So you're not looking to make money yourself. You're not looking like, hey, should I start a lemonade stand? Should I start this business, that business? No. What your goal is to help another person make money, right? So this can be in a lot of different forms. It could be a partnership where you guys start a business together. It could be coaching, where you're coaching someone through on how they could possibly make money, or give them ideas on how to make money. But the point is to spend. Step number 3. The point is to spend regular time once per week. The more often you help this person out, the stronger your karma becomes. The less often you help this person out, the weaker the karma becomes. Right? It's just helping them out frequently. If you don't help them out consistently, let's say you help them out 1 week and then you never help them out again, that karmic seed will almost never bloom. Or at least it won't give you the result that you want, right? Oh, I helped that guy make money that one time. Why am I not making money? It's like you have to be consistent in helping these people out and helping people out in terms of getting what you want, right? If you can help another person get what they want, you will receive what you want by some random circumstance within your life, right? And the more frequently you help people out, the quicker and the more powerful your karmic seed will bloom. Is essentially what he was saying. And then finally, the 4th and final step of actively using karma to get what you want is to go to, after you've helped this person out, is that when you fall asleep, you actively think about how you helped somebody that day. This is actually stronger than most affirmations. This is stronger than sitting in your room just thinking and believing that something's going to happen, right? Because this is a direct experience, a direct personal experience. When you have these direct personal experiences, you can go to sleep knowing exactly what it feels like to help somebody out. I'm so glad I helped this, X person today, make some money. That's so great. Awesome. I'm so glad I helped them make some money today. And as you're going to sleep, thinking about your desires, thinking about how you helped someone, that's what waters the karmic seed. That's what like accelerates the karmic seed to bloom, and then you find random circumstances happening in your life, coming into your life, right? Yeah. So I went on a very long tangent. What do you think?
Oh,
What do you think?
I wanted to check. It's like
Mhm.
from his teaching, does it matter that what this person wants and what you want is actually different, but you just help him out anyway, or is it like what he wants and what you want must be something similar, and then
Yeah. So it's beneficial to be something similar. So let's say my I wanted to help them make money. Now, let's say you guys have two different businesses. One guy runs a flower shop, one guy runs a donut shop. It's okay if you still want to help each other out, you know. The goal is still to how do I optimize a business and how do I optimize, making more money. So the mutual understanding is still the same. But if you're trying to make money and this person is looking for a relationship, then trying to help them make money isn't going to give you a good, powerful karmic seed. What's very important is how you make them feel as well. As long as they feel like they're being helped, as long as they feel like you're being beneficial to them, that's actually probably one of the most important parts is how you make the other person feel with your help and with your assistance.
yeah, makes sense,
Yeah.
makes sense. So
Yeah.
buy 6 donuts and free one flower. Buy a dozen of flowers, free one donut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Exactly. Exactly. You got it.
uh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also my personal thoughts to this is that we do it for somebody else. We go to sleep, think about it.
Mhm.
There is
Yes.
the effort part of it where you actually do something. There's also the part where I think I would like to include a segment of surrender, as in whatever
Mhm.
the outcome is actually for the greater good, and not
Yeah.
because that, oh, I did this, I helped somebody, so why is this thing
Mhm.
not coming to me, why is this not coming to me, and then that
Yes. Yes.
attitude
Yes.
will actually
Push it
will
away.
send out different messages, yeah, that way,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Actually, that's a very good point. It is it is super important, and this is one of the most powerful keys to this to actively using karma or consciously using karma is to never expect anything back. Don't like if you help someone do something, don't expect anything back. Like, okay, if they offer you like, oh my God, thank you for mowing my lawn, here's $50. If you're like, no, 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 they'll pay me back. Like, karma will pay me back eventually. That was the karma. You've just denied it. You know what I mean? It's like most people. Uh,
Yeah.
so, excuse me, I just had a brain fart, but
Yeah,
um,
some people have this the ability to receive something is actually a block within themselves. They feel bad for receiving things, yeah,
yes.
and yeah,
Mhm.
that might skew things off, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Uh, Man, there was something I wanted to say. Maybe if you went back to what you were
uh,
talking about, it would jog my memory.
yeah, never mind. While you jog a memory, I just want to bring to the conversation two things. One is there's
Mhm.
this paid forward movement, and there's also a
Mhm.
movie. I think it's starring Joel Haley Osment, and
Mhm.
it's quite an impactful movie to me. And it's like there's this little boy.
Mhm.
Oh, I think if I say I'll create spoilers, but anyway, it's a good movie. And that's what I actively try to do. I don't know what will happen if I do this thing, but I believe that somehow rather, even if it doesn't come back to me, it will come back to the people around me, and I'm fine with that. There's
Mhm.
also this video on YouTube. I think it's called Life Vest, and it's a circular. It's something that looks like a circular economy where this construction worker starts by helping out this guy who fell off a skateboard, and then how the things propagated, and eventually it came back to the construction worker, and I think that's just lovely and sweet, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It came to me, but yeah, don't, yeah. When you're doing these acts of kindness or generous towards other people or helping other people out, it's important to one never ever expect anything in return, but also uh, we don't get to determine how things manifest within our lives. So it's like we make money, we help people make money, and then nothing seems to be happening, and you're like, man, I just feel like why did I just waste all this time or something like that. You have that type of mindset. Uh, we don't as much as we don't know when the karma will manifest or how the karma will manifest. So it's best not to think about it because eventually it will happen by some random circumstance, by some twist of fate. You will get what you deserve, whether it's a negative karmic seed or a positive karmic seed. But that's what I want to. That's what I want to end. With.
Yeah,
Or not
something
end. Like
something
yeah,
came
talk.
up for me, in which I remember like when I was a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
and then public transport in Malaysia at the time wasn't that, I would say, wasn't that robust,
Mm-hmm.
and then so the conscientiousness, the etiquette for being in the public transport is not so well formed. So people don't give seats to elderly or pregnant or people who have injuries. But I always make it a point to like give up my seat for an elderly. And then when I see other people not doing it, there's this negative feeling like, oh, I wish they just would. Can't you see that
Mm-hmm.
people need it more than you? And then, but I
Yeah.
never thought anything, and then I never go tell people off or anything because it's not my role. But then
Yeah.
one day I was bringing my parents to Hong Kong. My dad was like 67, 68 at that time, and then we were in a packed subway, and when somebody really offered the seat to my dad, I just felt that, oh, it feels good that whatever I planted now comes to my dad. I don't know whether it's related, but it just feels good to think that it is, and then it
Yeah.
encourages me to do more. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did that. Yeah. There are a lot of kind people out there. I'm glad they're doing what they're doing.
Yep, yep.
Oh, it's funny because sometimes, and this is just a random tangent, but sometimes I feel like I'm an agent of karma,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like something that I do or an action that I take affects another person, but it's because of their karma.
Mm.
So if that makes sense. It's like a problem that I had going on with work, right, is that I said something, my own personal actions that I thought were harmless,
Mm-hmm.
affected my manager, right, affected someone else,
Mm-hmm.
and I wouldn't be punished, but they would. So it's like, oh, uh, maybe although I felt like my actions were harmless, I was like an agent of karma, where like I
Mm.
released someone else's karmic seed, or like
Mm.
activating someone else's karmic seed, uh,
Mm.
through actions of my complete lack of conscious awareness. You know.
Mm. This
So
I think of it like, although you are not the ones who receive the karmic repercussions, but you
mhm.
are the one who receive the karmic lessons.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
that's powerful as well actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
be
yeah.
able to not be embroiled in it and not see what's actually going on, you have a detached stance and you, oh, this is what happened. I need to make sure that this doesn't happen the next time or something like that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, sometimes it feels like you can't avoid it, you know? Sometimes it feels like your natural actions will unintentionally affect someone in a way that you didn't know would.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll just talk a bit about some misconceptions about karma. This is according to what the text says, is that karma is not driven by any entity or individual, but it's just a law. It's just like gravity. Whether you believe it, whether you participate or not, it's there. That's one. And number two, that karma is not determinism. It's not. It's not like the outcome is not predetermined, but although there is karma, each person can select to deal with it, ignore it, actively, like what you recommend just now, change it in certain ways.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's not like, oh, we don't want people to take the lesson from this is that, oh, karma is here, there's nothing I can do about it, it's all up to fate, woe is me. We definitely do not want that, because we want people to have this concept, but then we feel understand there's this logic behind things, but then you still hold your fate in your own ends. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. How you treat other people is probably one of the most important things you will experience in this life, is your relationships with people, how you affect them, and how you make them feel. These are all very important. If you don't have a sense of morality, then I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to make people feel more anxious about themselves, if you want them to feel miserable about themselves, then don't be surprised when other people make you feel the same way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. What we send out comes back to us. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just be mindful of your relationships and love people as much as you can.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to add, David?
No. I think we've covered, or I've said everything that I've wanted to say. So
Okay. Okay. Great. Yep. So I guess we'll call it a day. Yeah.
yeah.
So here's KY, and
And David Shaw. All
yeah, we'll sign off for now. Okay. Thank you.
right. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.